Why women should let men lead in love. The smart way to love. Chapter 1. The common mistake women make. Chasing love. When a woman loves, she often loves with her whole heart. With intuition, with tenderness, with everything she has. But in that beautiful act of giving, many women unknowingly lose the natural rhythm of love. They begin to chase the man they love. And while this isn't irrational, it's a deeply human reflex, born from our attachment instincts. When the person we love becomes distant or unresponsive, our brain's amygdala the emotional alarm system, sends a warning signal. Danger, you're losing connection. To ease the anxiety, women often act. They text, they call, they seek reassurance, they try to fix things. But here's the irony. Those very actions that come from fear are often the ones that push love further away. For years, I didn't understand this. Until I spent a decade studying human attachment and realized men and women's emotional systems don't function the same way. According to attachment theorists John Bowlby and Mary Ainsworth, our attachment patterns are shaped early in childhood. People with anxious attachment tend to seek reassurance constantly in love. Those with avoidant attachment often feel overwhelmed by emotional demands. So when these two types meet, one pursues, the other withdraws. The more one chases, the more the other retreats. From an evolutionary perspective, men are wired to pursue, to protect, to lead. When they feel they're being chased instead, their brain's dopamine system, the one that fuels excitement and desire, begins to shut down. They lose the thrill of pursuit, and with it, their focus on building connection. Helen Fisher, a biological anthropologist, found that during the early stages of romance, dopamine drives passion and pursuit. But once a man feels he has already won a woman, dopamine levels drop. The excitement fades. So when a woman over-pursues, she unintentionally disrupts his natural desire cycle. This isn't because she's too much. It's because her actions trigger the part of his brain that says, I don't need to invest anymore. Psychologist John Gottman's 40-year study on relationships revealed that healthy love is built on balanced giving and receiving. When one partner gives too much, they eventually burn out. And the other, who doesn't have to work for connection, starts to take it for granted. So when women chase men, it's not weakness. It's fear of losing love. But that fear ironically sends the message. I'm not going anywhere. You don't have to try. And when a man's brain receives that message repeatedly, his motivation center slows down. Affection fades into comfort, then into boredom. While she, trying harder, ends up hurt and confused. This is what behavioral psychology calls the pursuer-withdrawer cycle. One chases, one retreats, and the emotional distance grows. Most breakups begin quietly, right there. Dr. Sue Johnson, founder of Emotionally Focused Therapy, explains that women don't actually want control. They want safety. But safety can't be created by chasing. It comes from being grounded in your own emotional security. And that's hard, because biologically, women release much more oxytocin, the bonding hormone, during love. Men, on the other hand, release more testosterone and dopamine, the chase hormones. So when a woman pursues, she's actually stepping out of sync with how the male brain experiences desire. As Esther Perel says, love survives in the balance between security and mystery. When a woman chases, she becomes too predictable, too safe, and mystery dies. But letting a man lead doesn't mean silence or passivity. It means staying in your feminine energy receptive, calm, self-assured. Not controlling, but self-controlled. Research by Terry Orbick, The Love Doctor, shows that women who regulate their emotions and set clear boundaries are 40% more likely to have long-term happy relationships. Because boundaries are not distance. They are self-respect. They tell a man, asterisk, I love you, but I will not lose myself for you. Dash dash dash. When a woman chases, she unknowingly triggers a biological stress loop. Her brain releases cortisol, lowering dopamine, which makes her anxious and restless. Her face tightens, her tone loses warmth, and her eyes, instead of radiating softness, reflect fear. Men pick up on this subconsciously. They just feel off. They can't explain why, but they pull away. That's the emotional mirroring effect. When one person feels anxious, the other unconsciously mirrors it. And that's how silent disconnection begins. Dash dash dash. In Gottman's research, happy couples have at least *5 positive interactions for every one negative one. But when women pursue from anxiety, that ratio flips, because her attempts at connection are often perceived as criticism or control. He feels attacked, she feels ignored. The cycle repeats, until love wears thin. Dash dash dash. Yet beneath that cycle lies something tender and deeply human. Women chase not because they're weak, but because they care. Because they believe love must be held onto. But love doesn't need to be held. It needs to be nurtured. Men don't withdraw because they don't love. They withdraw because they stop feeling like men beside you. And that's not anyone's fault. It's a misalignment of emotional energy. When a woman slips into masculine energy, control, planning, pursuing, she unconsciously pushes him into the opposite role, avoidance. David Deida, author of *The Way of the Superior Man, says, sexual and emotional polarity is sustained through difference. The more alike two energies become, the less attraction remains. Dash dash dash. So, feminine energy isn't weakness. It's quiet power, the ability to feel deeply, stay grounded, and not react from fear. It's the confidence to pause, to breathe, to let him come to you. Sue Johnson's studies show that people who can self-soothe and regulate emotion have 60% higher relationship satisfaction. Because when you're calm, you send the message, asterisk, you're safe with me. And that safety makes him want to come closer. Dash dash dash. When you stop chasing, something amazing happens. The male brain releases dopamine again. He starts to miss you, to wonder, to reach out, to act. Not because of manipulation, but because his biology wakes up. When a man has to earn connection, he feels alive. When he feels trusted, he feels worthy. When he feels challenged, he feels desire. Dash dash dash. Letting a man lead doesn't mean waiting in silence. It means responding, not reacting. Softly, clearly, authentically. When he withdraws, instead of saying, why aren't you talking to me? You can say, I feel a bit distant from you lately. I don't know what's on your mind. But if you ever want to talk, I'm here. That kind of energy opens the heart instead of closing it. Dash dash dash. According to Robert Sternberg's triangular theory of love, lasting relationships need passion, intimacy, and commitment. When a woman chases, she focuses too much on commitment and loses passion and intimacy. When she pauses, grows, and reconnects with herself, passion returns, intimacy returns, and commitment follows naturally. Dash dash dash. So, remember, men love through effort. Women feel loved through safety. True love lives in the dance between the two. In rhythm, respect, and emotional balance. The biggest mistake women make is not loving too much, but letting fear dictate how they love. A wise woman knows when to stop. So love has the space to come toward her. Dizzy. Dash dash dash. Rose asterisk the cultural layer, what she was taught. Since she was a little girl, she was told things like, you must keep your man. You must nurture, endure, and sacrifice. So when love begins to fall apart, her first instinct is to blame herself. Not because she's weak or lacks confidence, but because deep down, she fears being seen as asterisk not good enough to be loved. This is why so many women chase when love feels uncertain. Not because they don't know their worth, but because they've been taught that their worth depends on being chosen. In a society that often praises the woman who holds her family together, many of us carry an unconscious belief. If I try harder, he'll stay. But love built on fear is not love. It's survival disguised as devotion. Growing heart, the personal layer, the emotional blueprint. Every woman carries emotional imprints from childhood. The way her parents loved. The way her caregivers listened. The image of the first man she trusted. If as a child she had to asterisk earn love, to behave, to please, to prove, she learns a silent rule. To be loved, I must try harder. So she grows up chasing approval, hoping one day love will finally feel safe. She'll try to be chosen, instead of daring to asterisk choose. But the truth is, validation doesn't come from another person's affection. It begins with how you treat yourself. When a woman starts nurturing her own heart, she steps out of the chase devalue pain cycle. And love, once a battlefield, becomes a sanctuary. Because when she finally understands herself, she no longer needs to hold anyone. Those who belong in her life will want to stay. Tulip. Light blue heart asterisk the neuroscience of attraction and attachment. Love is one of the most powerful biological states a human can experience. When we fall in love, 3 major brain systems light up, each with its own unique chemistry. Keycap 1 the lust system asterisk driven by testosterone. This is our primal engine, fueling physical attraction and desire. Keycap 2 the romantic love system asterisk powered by dopamine. It's what makes us euphoric, obsessed, and endlessly curious about one person. Dopamine is the reason your heart races when they text back. And why even a small smile can feel like a spark. Keycap 3 the attachment system asterisk sustained by oxytocin and vasopressin. This creates calm, trust, and the desire to stay close. Brain in women, these 3 systems often activate together. Emotional closeness, physical intimacy, and attachment tend to intertwine. That's why women can bond deeply, even after just a moment of connection. In men, however, these systems can operate separately. He can feel physical desire without emotional attachment. He can care, without being in love. What moves a man from lust to lasting attachment is not attraction, it's asterisk respect and emotional safety. Books according to research by Dr. Helen Fisher and Dr. Lucy Brown. At Albert Einstein College of Medicine, 2016. When a man falls deeply in love, the prefrontal cortex, the part of the brain tied to planning and commitment, lights up intensely. But here's the secret. This part of his brain only activates when he feels that the woman beside him makes him a asterisk better version of himself. In other words, men don't stay because they're held onto. They stay because they want to grow beside you. Not because they're controlled, but because they feel inspired and emotionally safe. Herbs. So what does this mean for us? As women? It means love was never meant to be something we chase. It's something we nurture. It's not about holding tighter. It's about holding softer. When a woman learns to trust herself more than her fear, she stops running after love. And love begins to find its way back to her. Because real love doesn't need to be kept. It needs to be respected. And when a woman stands in the quiet strength of her self-worth, she becomes the safest place a man will ever want to return to. Crescent moon. thought balloon when he withdraws. What's really going on in his mind? When a man suddenly grows quiet, distant, or emotionally disappears, most women instantly feel anxious, confused, even hurt. But neuroscience shows his withdrawal isn't always emotional neglect. It's often his brain's natural way of coping with stress. Brain studies from the Gottman Institute and the Washington Center for Marriage Research reveal something fascinating. Men's brains have a lower tolerance for emotional stimulation than women's. During conflict or intense emotional moments, his body reacts quickly. His heart rate spikes. His adrenaline and cortisol surge. He enters a state called emotional flooding. At that moment, his sympathetic nervous system, the fight or flight system, takes over. And most men choose the second option, flight. That's why he shuts down, gets quiet, or says, "Can we talk about this later?" He's not avoiding you. He's trying to calm his nervous system. He literally can't think or feel clearly until his heart rate slows down. It's biology, not betrayal. The feminine wisdom of pause. If a woman understands this, she no longer takes silence personally. Instead of chasing or demanding instant answers, she breathes, pauses, and gives him space. Because when she reacts, when she follows, questions, and pushes, his cortisol rises even higher. And his brain closes off completely. That's why so many conversations end in silence. And emotional distance grows. Not from lack of love, but from lack of regulation. When a woman learns to embrace the pause instead of fearing it, love gets a chance to breathe again. Because sometimes, space isn't disconnection. It's recovery. Greyheart: The Psychology of a Man Who Truly Loves. Men who love deeply don't always say it out loud. They love through action. Through listening, protecting, showing up, quietly, consistently. In a study by Dr. John Gottman, when men were asked, "What makes you feel most bonded to your partner?" they didn't mention passion or grand emotion. They spoke of respect and being trusted. When a woman trusts instead of tests, when she listens without judging or controlling, his nervous system relaxes. He feels safe to open up. But when she doubts, criticizes, or interrogates, his brain interprets it as a threat. He doesn't know how to respond emotionally. So he retreats into logic, or silence. Psychologists call this the clash between the emotional processing system, more active in women, and the defensive system, more active in men. She wants to connect through conversation. He wants to solve or escape the problem. And if both stay stuck in those instincts, love loses its voice. But when she shifts from accusation to honesty, from "you never listen" to "I feel hurt when we stop talking," his brain softens. The threat fades. Empathy replaces defense. And connection begins again. Men don't need perfect women. They need safe women. Women who make it okay to just be. Growing Heart: Why Men Respect Women with Boundaries. Boundaries are not walls, they're structure. They're what transform attraction into respect. Therapist Nedra Glover Tawwab, author of Set Boundaries, Find Peace, says, "A woman with boundaries knows the difference between kindness and self-sacrifice." Men are drawn to that. Why? Keycap 1: Boundaries create safety. He knows where not to cross, and that makes him feel secure. Not restricted. Keycap 2: Boundaries build value. When something isn't too easy, his brain releases more dopamine. The chemistry of pursuit and excitement. Keycap 3: Boundaries create trust. A woman who honors her limits signals emotional stability. She becomes a grounding force, his safe place. When you bend your boundaries just to please him, you send the message, "My love depends on your approval." And that makes his brain relax, but also stop investing. So boundaries don't kill love. They protect it. They teach him how to cherish you. Brain: The Science of Loving Without Fear. A woman who understands attachment doesn't panic when he pulls away. She knows her feelings are simply a reflection of her nervous system. She can regulate them instead of reacting to them. She also knows men can love deeply and still need solitude, because their bodies need to rebuild testosterone after long emotional connection. So when he returns, he doesn't need questions or pressure. He needs her peaceful energy. A warm smile, a gentle presence. That's what awakens his protective, loving instinct. As Esther Perel teaches, attraction thrives in a mix of safety and mystery. A little distance, a little curiosity, and a sense of emotional freedom. When a woman masters that dance, she no longer chases love. She radiates it. Tulip. Speech balloon. What men truly need in love. At their core, men need three things, not many, but profound. Keycap 1. Trust. Not the belief that he's perfect, but the belief that he can lead his own life. You don't have to teach him how to love. Just express what you feel without trying to control how he responds. Keycap 2. Recognition. Men grow through acknowledgement. When you say, "I see how hard you're trying," his brain releases dopamine, pride and connection. But when you say, "You never do anything right," his brain releases cortisol, fret and withdrawal. One sentence can change the entire chemistry of love. Keycap 3. Space to be himself. Men need to feel capable, that they have a role in your world. If you lead, decide, and fix everything, he feels unnecessary. But when you let him lead, not out of weakness, but trust, his brain releases oxytocin, the hormone of bonding and devotion. When those three needs are met, a man naturally invests, protects, and stays. Not because you ask him to, but because his biology and heart both want to. Feather. The bridge between science and the art of love. Science explains the why, but art teaches the how. Understanding men isn't about control. It's about moving with the natural rhythm of connection. A wise woman knows. Men don't need persuasion, they need to feel. They don't need promises, they need presence. They don't need perfection, they need truth and boundaries. When you love with calm energy, you stop chasing. And the moment you stop, love begins to move toward you. As Sue Johnson reminds us, emotional mastery isn't about suppressing feelings, but recognizing them and responding with intention. You can feel sad he didn't text, and still say calmly, "I missed hearing from you today, but I know you might be busy." That is emotional intelligence in action. Love that breathes, respects, and attracts. When a woman masters her emotions, she doesn't just manage relationships. She leads them, gently, from chaos back into connection. Thought balloon. Men don't fear commitment, they fear losing themselves inside it. Men don't actually fear commitment. What they fear is losing their role once they commit. When a woman becomes overly directive, when she takes control of the rhythm, timing, and direction of the relationship, his brain receives a signal. She doesn't need me. In that instant, his testosterone drops. And with it, the natural drive to protect, to pursue, to give. According to Dr. Helen Fisher, the two key hormones that fuel male motivation in love are testosterone and dopamine. When a man is challenged, when he feels needed and purposeful, his brain keeps releasing dopamine, keeping the connection alive. But when the woman begins leading for him, his dopamine circuit shuts down. The chemistry of desire fades. That's why emotionally intelligent women don't take over the lead. They create space for him to step into it. They don't demand, they invite. They don't chase, they receive. This is the art of feminine direction, soft, yet intentional. Blossom. The power of active receiving. In emotional psychology, there's a concept called active receiving. It's not passive waiting, and it's not control either. It's the state of being present, responsive, and emotionally open. When a man does something, even something small. Like sending a simple, "good night," text. The feminine response that builds connection isn't neutral. It's felt. Instead of replying, "Yeah, I know," say, "That made me smile. It feels warm hearing from you." In that moment, his brain releases oxytocin, the bonding hormone. He starts to feel, "With her, I matter." That's how a woman guides his emotions, not through control, but through connection. Crescent moon balancing boundaries and love. One of the deepest skills in mature love is knowing when to give, and when to stop. Boundaries are not walls. They're maps, showing you where you end and the other person begins. Therapist Nedra Glover Tawwab describes boundaries as the intersection of self-respect and compassion. When you say, "No," softly but clearly, you're not rejecting, you're protecting both your energy and the relationship. Boundaries don't destroy love. They define it. Men don't walk away from women who have boundaries. They respect them, and invest more deeply. Because a woman with boundaries is a woman of value. Not a woman begging to prove it. Speech balloon receiving without controlling. Women often try to control because they're afraid of losing love. But women who understand human behavior don't need to control. Because they know, real love doesn't need to be held tight. It needs to be nurtured gently. When you try to control, your cortisol, stress hormone, rises, and dopamine drops. But when you relax, dopamine and oxytocin rise. In other words, your brain is most magnetic when it's at peace. Safety is sexy. Calm is captivating. Cherry blossom feminine energy with intention, the hidden magnetism. A woman can attract through beauty. But she keeps love through energy. Feminine energy isn't weakness. It's presence, soft, grounded, emotionally radiant. According to David Dita, it's the power of an open heart. It's knowing you love deeply, but without the need to possess. There are two kinds of feminine energy. Fog fragile femininity, soft from fear, easily swayed, easily hurt. Full moon intentional femininity, soft from choice, deeply rooted, gentle yet firm. She knows when to stay quiet with grace, and when to speak truth with clarity. She makes men want to lead, not try to control her. Her energy is steady, calm, luminous. The three pillars of empowered feminine energy. Keycap 1 self-worth. You don't need anyone to prove you're lovable. You simply express your worth through authenticity. Keycap 2 emotional mastery. You feel deeply, but you don't react impulsively. You observe, name, and respond consciously. Keycap 3 presence. When you're with someone, you're really there, with your heart, not your fear. That kind of presence is magnetic. When a woman lives in this energy, she doesn't chase, she attracts. Tulip 5 practical steps to let him naturally lead. Step 1. Observe before reacting. When he pulls away or doesn't meet your expectations, pause. Notice what's really happening inside you. Are you hurt, scared, or simply craving reassurance? Self-awareness, or meta-awareness, as psychology calls it, is what gives emotional depth. And to a man, calmness equals trustworthiness. Step 2. Respond with emotion, not commands. Instead of saying, "You never call me anymore," try, "I miss you lately, is something stressing you?" When you speak from emotion, not accusation, his brain shifts from defense to empathy. That's connection, not control. Step 3. Give space, and grow during it. Distance isn't the death of love. It's the oxygen of maturity. When he needs space, for work, passion, or peace, don't chase. Focus on your own growth. Read, move, laugh, create. When he sees you shining in your own rhythm, his respect and attraction rise naturally. Step 4. Hold boundaries without building walls. Say no gently, but firmly. For example, "I like spending time with you, but I need clarity about where we're heading. I can't keep investing emotionally without that." You're not controlling him, you're defining yourself. That's not pressure, that's maturity. Step 5. Appreciate specifically. Recognition motivates men far more than criticism ever will. Say, "I really appreciate that you made time for me today." Or, "I felt cared for when you shared your plans." In that instant, his brain releases dopamine and oxytocin. The chemistry of long-term love. Feather communicating in feminine energy. Speak softly, not weakly. Your tone carries energy. A warm, calm voice activates alpha brainwaves, relaxation and receptivity. Listen deeply. Look with your eyes. Feel with your energy. When you truly listen, a man feels seen. And being seen is how men fall in love. Seek understanding, not victory. Ask yourself, do I want to be right? Or do I want to be close? A wise woman chooses connection. Because love isn't a debate, it's a dialogue of hearts. Sparkling heart becoming the woman men want to lead. Every man wants to lead. He just needs to know he's allowed to. And a woman gives that permission not with words, but with trust. When you trust him, he feels safe to act. When you're calm, he feels free to express. When you're soft but clear, he feels respected. That's how mature love flows. Not through force, but through balance. The final thought. Loving with wisdom. Healthy love isn't about feeling less. It's about feeling wiser. You don't lose your softness. You simply learn how to protect it with boundaries and awareness. When you understand men, you stop fearing their distance. When you understand yourself, you stop fearing solitude. And when you love from self-mastery, you stop searching for love and start creating it. If you're still listening now, it means a part of you is ready to love more consciously, to heal more deeply, to return to yourself. Love isn't easy, but it's the most beautiful classroom for growth, empathy, and awakening. So if this episode helped your heart feel a little lighter, follow, share, and stay with us on this journey of healing and understanding. Because every time you do, you help spread one simple truth. Sparkles, women deserve to love freely, safely, and peacefully. Sparkles. And remember, loving wisely doesn't mean loving less. It means loving in a way that helps both hearts grow. Thank you for listening. Until next time, stay kind, stay aware, and stay in your beautiful, feminine power. Revolving Hearts.